Welcome to another episode of Pels in the Blender. It's your boy A. Davis. Just wanted to come to y'all, catch up on the weekend. There's been a lot of news going on. We had two summer league games. We had the Herb Jones extension. Um, so it's been a lot of discourse going on about Derek Queen, Jeremiah Fierce, how those guys look, Herb Jones and his new deal and what that means for the team moving forward. You got the pictures of the players coming out for the games in summer league and Zion not being there. So I kind of just want to touch base on a couple of those things and kind of give my thoughts about what we got going on. So first, let's start with some positive news. Well, I think it's all, pretty much going to be positive news for me at least. But let's start with some positive news. The Herb Jones extension. So the Herb Jones extension, the 3 for 68 mil, I think is a pretty good deal for everybody. And yes, it's a great deal because you're able to secure Herb a vital core part to the team for an extended period of time. You, no matter which way you decide to go, whether you're gonna do somewhat of a rebuild and decide to move Zion and whoever else, there's value there in extending her, or if you want to continue on with this particular team and try and build around that, Herb has shown he could produce at an elite level with those guys in his particular role. And we don't know necessarily if Herb is maxed out as a player or not. But even if he is, the player that he is has shown he can shoot 40% from three, be a first team all defensive player, be one of the best defensive disruptors in the league. And those guys make about what it is you see Herb Jones making. Like on those extensions and stuff like Lou Dort, all of those guys, Caruso, they're around 20-ish mil. Elite or high level role players. That's kind of what you pay for those dudes. So it was a good move to get it done. For me, the main reason I think it was a good move to get it done is because the Pelicans have been finding themselves in a situation where when players have 2 years left on the contract, where we've been unsure of what's going on going into the next season. And those players, in my opinion, their value dramatically plummets when they have 1 year left on the deal. So I think most deals need to be this, like if you're gonna keep a guy, or at least if it's a possibility that you're gonna keep a guy, or even if you're gonna trade him, you have to trade him with 2 years left on the deal as opposed to the one, because you pretty much put yourself in a bind when you're trying to trade guys with 1 year left on the deal. They can, it's almost like it's not necessarily a no trade clause, but they can dictate terms of, hey, I'm not gonna re-sign with this team, or um teams lowball you and say, well, we only gonna have the guy for 1 season and then we're gonna lose him. So giving Herb Jones the extension does a lot for the organization. Herb Jones the only one out of this new group that's got his own day. So that goes to show what it says about Herb and his value to the team and what he means here. And him getting that extension, I know that gives him some extra security. You feel good about it. That's like, I think it's a really smart move by Joe Dumars for them to get that done and get that taken care of early. Again, man, I like all of the moves that Joe Dumars has made so far since coming the guy, aside from not letting Willie Green go. So I'm not gonna talk too much about Herb Jones. Kudos to Herb. Shout out to you. Now, let's move into Summer League. So before we jump into the games, actually, the around Summer League, you start seeing the players showing up for the game, supporting their teams and stuff like that. And you saw the picture come out where, you seen DeJounte at the game, Jose at the game, Trey at the game, Dumars obviously at the game. You know who you didn't see? You didn't see Zion at the game. So a lot of people are like, man, it's Zion's team. Why is Zion not at the game? Now, do I think Zion should be present at Summer League? If your team is finally your franchise, you want to give those guys the support they need and let them see you and show, hey man, we got y'all back. Absolutely, I think he need to be there. But him not being there, is it the biggest deal? I don't know, man. I don't know what Zion got going on and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, like, yes, you will want him to be there. You absolutely want him to be there. But him not being there is not the end of the world. Those dudes still got a job to do. They still got to go out there and do what they supposed to do and produce and all of that anyway. So, yes, obviously it would be cool if, if you got your main guy out there, but the Lakers been playing multiple games. I ain't seen Luka Doncic out there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I missed it. I ain't seen Giannis at Summer League or something like that. Now, granted, those dudes are in different points of their careers and standings and stuff like that, where they're for sure like the franchise guy and all of that, and they ain't trying to like regrow their image in a sense. But Zion not being at Summer League is not really the biggest deal to me. That some people are making it out to be, even though I would like him to be there. I think him being there will go further with his team and the new regime and everything than him not being there. But I'm pretty sure if he's not going to be there, I'm pretty sure that was discussed with with Joe Dumars and whatnot. And even if it wasn't, like, so what? It's not the biggest deal, man. It's the summer. Keep getting yourself together. Joe Dumars seems like he's got a track on everything going on anyway with all of these players. So I wouldn't be surprised if Zion's not going to be there. He already knows. All right, the big topic. So over the weekend, the Pels played 2 summer league games. They lost both of them. I said coming in the summer league, there's a couple things that I wanted to look for that really matter. What I was looking for, and everybody looks for something different in summer league. Like, if you're a fan of basketball or if you're a fan of a team and stuff like that, like, yes, you want the team. Yes, you want the team to compete and win and look a certain type of way. You want the players to play a certain type of way. Um, some people are looking for, all of the little things. Are you screening? Are you running hard? Are you getting back on defense? Like, those things. Some people are looking for, can you, depending on if you're like an older player, can you take coaching? It's a lot of different things that people look for in summer league. So what I look for when I'm looking at summer league is the thing that you do, like your skill set. Um, can you do that, or will that translate to the next level? Whatever your best asset is, does it look like it's gonna translate to the next level? And when you look at Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen specifically, because really those are the only two that matter, to be honest. Like Peavy to a lesser degree, and you saw from game one, Peavy's gonna fit right in. That's no problem. The older players, they're older, they've been around the league, they've played the game. It's more beneficial to them. Like, you better look like you know what you're doing in summer league as opposed to struggling, because struggling for a player that's been in the league 2 years, 3 years or whatever, that's a bigger indictment on you as opposed to, two rookies, and it's their first, especially two young rookies, and it's their first experience with the NBA game, right? NBA practices, what NBA warm up, just the game in general. Like, I'm pretty sure it's a big transition. The speed, the size, all of that stuff is, it takes an adjustment period. When you go from playing JV to varsity, like, sometimes it might take a couple games for you to really adjust to what's going on. And it's essentially that when they take a step up to the next level, that's exactly what it is, another level that you have to step up to and get used to playing like that. So what I was looking for specifically, will the skill set translate with Jeremiah Fears? The skill set translates. The handle is elite. Like, people talk about him possibly getting sped up and stuff like that. I think he's shown that he can play two different types of ways. He, in game one, he was more of a point guard, looked like he can orchestrate. He was making a lot of the passes that I wanted to see him be able to make. He wasn't really bothered by pressure. He could get to any spot that he wants to when he decides to. He didn't throw too many lobs in college. I wanted to see if he'd be able to, hit the lob man or make like pocket passes. He showed flashes of being able to do all of those. And I think that's a great sign, because when when he goes to play on, when they get ready to start the season with, with the real team, like some of the things that he's doing now, he won't be asked to do. We need you, like, and his game is going to be able to come along a lot slower. But you already saw the leadership. This guy was communicating. This guy was competing. He's not going to be bullied. He knows he belongs, and the game shows he belongs, bro. He has a flair about him. He's talking, he's communicating, he's breaking down what he's seeing to his teammates and everything. Like, fears in his 2 games, to me, I'm not worried about the shooting. I'm not worried about the finishing at the rim and stuff like that just yet, because again, one, we knew those were concerns, or we knew those were things that he needed to work on coming out of college. So I can't expect, you haven't been playing in months, your first game against better competition, even if it's not NBA competition, like if it's not, you know, regular season NBA roster or something like that. These dudes still are professional players. And you taking the first step up to that, and you showing that you belong on the floor. He looked at Rob Dillingham game 1 and was like, "Bro, I'm better than you. Like, I'm better than you, regardless of what the numbers may have looked like." And I kind of was bagging him. He looked like the team had some struggles, yes, but you could absolutely see the talent in Jeremiah Fizz from moment one. From moment one, that guy wasn't afraid. He attacked. He like, you can see also in his development, when he gets a little bit stronger, he's gonna be able to dominate with the handle, being able to bump guys off. He'll get better at finishing at the rim. He might have to add some more things in his layup package, but Jeremiah Fizz to me looks like a all-star level, start level player really soon, to be honest. I'm not saying he'll be a starting caliber player this year, but I absolutely could see that dude playing significant minutes in the rotation. Now, the other one, Derek Queen. So a lot of people have been getting on Derek Queen about the energy and the effort and stuff like that. Now, for me, I think that it's mainly he's out of shape, right? I think he's out of shape. And if you've played basketball and you've been out of shape, it's hard to do anything. Like, now you may say that, okay, what you've been doing, there's no reason for you to be out of shape, but I look at it this way. If you come out of college, right, and you working on your game, you're trying to keep yourself in moderate shape or whatever. You're not trying to do too much because you don't want to be injured, or you don't want to put yourself at risk for, injury, trying to get drafted and some stuff that might, something that might affect your draft status even more. So maybe you're not going as hard as you would have been, if you know what team you at, if you got a city and stuff, you're probably flying all over the place for workouts and interviews and all kind of stuff. So I imagine that time from finishing college through the draft process could be relatively challenging. So I think Derek Queen isn't in shape. So when the games are starting, man, it's probably hard for this guy these guys are more athletic, they run hard and stuff like that. It's just when you're out of shape, it's probably hard for him to get up and down the floor. That's on screens, that's on contest, and all of that. But even with all of that, you still see the skill, the thing that you wanted to, at least the thing that I wanted to see from him, would his skill be able to translate? The passing is real. The handle is actually is even better than I thought it was gonna be. I didn't know. I thought because of the spots that he operated from in college, I didn't know if he would be able to expand on those. And summer league is so hectic. Basically, like, there's no real sets being run. It's a guard league. You're not really getting touches in your spots consistently and stuff like that. Is guys out here playing for jobs. So you just sitting there trying to do whatever it is you could do, to try and make some sort of impact on the game. Which is why you see in the second game those guys go incredibly selfish in the second half. But you see from Derek Queen, the offensive skill set is absolutely there. The shooting and stuff will come along. Some of his moves, like the step back 1-footer, some people are blocking it and whatnot. Again, it just takes time for those guys to figure out how to get their offense off against these levels of competition. You've seen a lot of the rookies. Some of them have come in, like Trey Johnson has come in and looked really, really good. But you saw him say, look, the offense is gonna be there because the style of player that he fits perfectly in summer league. I'm just here trying to work on my defense. Everybody is here trying to, they came with an agenda that they're trying to accomplish or trying to work on for themselves. And Derek Queen not being able to get up and down the floor and stuff like that, absolutely he needs to be able to do these things. But I don't think in two summer league games, when Corey Brewer is going through his first time as a head coach, it's a lot of guards on this team. It's no real um I don't want to say a real veteran presence, but like it's not a lot of, like when Trey Murphy and all of those guys were in summer league. Like Herb had been in college for a while, Jose had been in college for a while, Najee was in college for a while and was a second or third year player, something like that. When those dudes were in summer league, when you want to compare this summer league team to some of the more successful ones, this particular group doesn't have that. They don't have that leadership. And if you remember with the Herb them summer league, Willie Green, legit the head coach of the team, wouldn't coach that summer league team. Now I don't know what you think about Willie as a coach, but if you're gonna be the head coach of the professional team, you should be able to outcoach a lot of those people in summer league. So I'm not saying that says a lot, but it does say something of what those guys had going into that particular summer league was very clearly what it was they were going to be doing going into the season, which is an advantage for that particular team. So when I'm looking at Derek Queen, I'm giving a lot of grace because what I want to see from those guys, from Fears and Queen and Peavy and all of that, bro, do you look like you belong? Do you have a skill set that can translate from when you finish these games? Are you getting better in each game? There's still two more games left, and I'm not necessarily saying they need to even win those games, but it is hard to get your conditioning back, over the course of a week or something like that. But you're gonna leave from this. You're gonna leave from this experience and say, okay, I absolutely, to play on the next level, I need to be in at least this a minimum level of conditioning to be able to do what it is I need to do. My coaches now have film on me and can say, hey, we need to work on screening harder. We need to work on making sure we in these particular spots. We got to hit the boards harder. We look, at minimum, we need to make sure we sprinting, as best as we can up and down the floor. You know, that's what all of this stuff is for, to get like at least some kind of baseline on what it is you can do to get ready to go into training camp. We can't overreact to what we're seeing, whether it's good or bad. If both of them came out and hit you for 30 and looked fantastic and stuff like that, you probably shut them down. But even if you shut them down, I don't think that's beneficial to them. They're young players, man. And you can see, I understand like some of the mentality and stuff where some players seem a little more mature than others. They seem more hungry than others, more engaged than others and stuff like that. And that's all stuff that could be worked on and stuff that could be fixed. So for me, I'm not overly worried about what Derek Queen looks like in the first two games, when and I don't even want to bring up the fact that even with them not playing well, he's had the double double and stuff like that. To me, it doesn't matter. Like being able to just essentially, how some people say, play terrible and fall into 13-10 or 14-10 or whatever it is. That don't necessarily matter. Does your skill set translate? Does what it is you do special? Like the reason we drafted you, can we see that on the floor? Absolutely we can. The one that I'm actually more concerned about is Eves. Eves, again, I'm giving him the same level of grace to a degree. The things that, and I don't know what it is they told Eves that he needed to work on, but man, your hands have to be better. Like from the end of this summer league to when training camp start, Eve needs to work on strictly catching the ball and finishing around the rim. Like that's all you need to do, because when the season starts, that's literally all you're gonna be asked to do. Screen, roll hard, catch the passes, and be able to finish around the rim. Anything else, we're not really worried about, man. So, and that's another thing I kind of want to get into a little bit. When you've seen these guys, they're out here playing, right? In the first halves in the first halves in both games, they're being active and they're passing the ball, and they're moving it around and stuff like that. And we have a lot of misconnections. Somebody cut, they don't see the cut, or they catch it, they don't finish. Um, or somebody might lose the ball to where I think that stuff leads to what you saw in the second half of the second game with the heavy isolation. Like, why am I passing it to you? Ain't nobody finishing, and I'm out here trying to make myself look good. I might as well take this opportunity. I'll take this opportunity to create and show what I could do. The selfishness that's bred in summer league, that easily could be fixed when you're playing. First off, when you're playing with better players, because if I pass it to you and you catch it on the cut, make that layup, okay, now I know you can handle that pass. The defense sags off a little more. Like, you got to think about, just when you're playing the game, bro, how much the game shifts depending on how things are going out there. And like the mentality completely changes also when, if I throw Eves a lob and it goes through his hand, or if I give him a bounce pass and it bounces off his chest. You know what I mean? Like how bounce pass bounce off your chest, but you see him stumbling with it, it's hitting him all over the place. Like, at some point I'm not gonna want to pass Eves the ball. Like, that's just the way it go. I'd rather go my ISO and see if I can get my shot off. I think it's a lot of that. There's been a lot of trash talk, a lot of competitiveness. You've seen the guys pick it up in the second half of most of these games and like try to compete. But at the same time, I just don't think that they're in a, it's not like they have a system that's being run or like some elite coaching to help them out. So they're trying to figure out on the next level what it is, like how to win these games or how to compete on this level. You got to think Antonio Reeves might be one of the better players. And that's not to say nothing about Antonio Reeves, but Antonio Reeves was a second round draft pick. It's not like we're talking about a guy that's his second year that was like a third overall pick that's supposed to look awesome out here. You're two young guys are supposed to be two of your better players on the team. Everything needs to focus around that. And the older guys are trying to, like, Antonio Reeves out here trying to fight for a job. Lester has a spot. Lester Quinones, but he's trying to secure his spot. You just never know, man. Like the summer league is a hard time to critique because there's so much that goes into these games, and it's really between the bad officiating, because officiating is god awful. These guys or like from the rookie standpoint, you literally just got out of college. You don't even know what kind of shape you need to be in yet. Like, you don't know what your body needs to be like to compete on this level. You don't know how to train for this level yet. So like when these guys are getting gassed and stuff like that, like I think you should give a little bit of grace and see, like, first off, let the entire summer play out and then see how they look coming into training camp. Training camp is what matters. So even when we kind of look forward a little bit, you still got the two games left. I don't think they're gonna make the playoff or nothing like that because they unless who knows the summer league playoff where you might get the fifth game or not. It kind of depends, but we'll see. The thing that I've been most excited about watching these particular games is one, we know the skill sets are there. Derek Queen, you can tell when he gets to training camp and you got Loon, like you already know what the experience was like from this. But then you're gonna have a professional in Looney. That's gonna be a great vet for that dude, bro. Like showing him how to get his body together. And you know what? The one thing we do know about Derek Queen, he's extremely prideful, extremely competitive, and he's putting a lot of pressure on himself. I ain't even talking about the picks and stuff, the pick and them trading up to get him and stuff like that. You can tell that's a dude that wants to show he's good on the floor, and he doesn't want to look bad. So I think that pride is going. Joe Dumars, I think, spotted that, and that dude wants to be good. So when he gets in the camp, and you gotta run with Zion, and you gotta run with Herb, and you gotta run with Trey, and those dudes and Looney, and they banging into you and stuff like that. Pause. You know what I mean? I think training camp is going to be a real awakening for Derek Queen. And when you had that time of, hey, man, like, I'm not going to be able to compete on this level if I don't get myself together. And you have somebody that's going to be able to teach you, hey, bro, this is how you survive in the league. This is how you sprint to your screens. This is how as a bigger player, this is how you move your feet and guard and stuff like that. You got to think when they get around those veteran players, they're gonna help, you know, they're gonna help mentor and bring them along more. Last thing I want to think about too is another thing I'm seeing is confusion. Like they don't practice, right? They know a couple sets, but they're not really out there running plays. So you really, on top of being exhausted, you really don't know what it is you're supposed to be doing. You're trying to figure it out. So between exhaustion and trying to figure out where you're supposed to be. Where can I get my shot off? Am I supposed to pass? Am I supposed to shoot it? Like, do I play? Am I supposed to play like are we supposed to play like as a team? But we have a couple players that, might be playing a little more selfishly than others. Like, all of those things matter when you're watching those guys play. And then the last thing I'll say this. If you think about the two teams that they played, the first team was the Minnesota team. The Minnesota team was a lot of like older, like second year, third year players. Veteran, like not veteran players, but veteran in terms of summer league players. Those guys should know how to play on this level. Like the the training is different, the running is different, all of that, and that showed. And they had a pretty good competitive game against that team for their first games. Like I think they showed well, even with you know some of the things that you wanted, some of the other things that you wanted to see from a energy and effort standpoint. And in the second game, even the Laker team, a lot of those guys are a lot, second year and G League and summer league players and stuff like that. Players that's been around the professional game for a while. So for your two young players, Fears and Queen, that has never seen a minute of NBA basketball, the two things you leave away with is saying, hey, offensively, both of them got something that if you could, if that not if, but like when they refine, both of them look like they could be elite offensive players. Both of them are extremely competitive. You get these dudes in shape, you can absolutely see the vision of what it is that they'll be able to contribute and bring to the team. So I'm not overly worried about summer league. Let these dudes finish playing the games. Calm down. Just watch and see how they progress over the next two. They might come out and look completely different in a good way in the next two games. You be like, you know what? I like that. They learned. They were able to take what they had from the first two games, build on that in the last two, and now you go into, preparing for training camp, ready to go in a better situation. Also, it's months from the end of summer league to the beginning of training camp. You can get yourself in better basketball shape and prepared to go now that you know what it is that you facing, or what it is that the level of intensity that they're expecting you to bring. You got film on yourself. All of those things matter. But man, I won't lie, I'm still just as excited as I'm actually even more excited now than before we drafted them. These guys are gonna be good, bro. They're gonna be good, and you can see in the rotation how they're gonna be able to be used, because you got to think they're gonna be out there with elite talent, right? Like Zion is an elite talent. Trey Murphy is a really good I don't want to say elite player, but we expecting Trey Murphy to play damn near at an all-star level. DeJounte Murray has been an all-star. Looney has been a vet. Poole has been a really good guard in the league. Like, when they get those guys out there on the floor with them and their responsibility lessens, their skill sets are shine even more when the spacing is better. Like, the NBA game is going to be completely different in structure. Like, okay, we're running these sets. I can go to my spot hard because I know where I'm supposed to be. I know where I'm gonna get the touches. We're practicing it more. I can watch the film on it more. Like, the repetition will be there. Like, it's gonna be completely different come the season than it is and what we're looking at right now. So yeah, they had some challenges, but at the end of the day, man, I think we should be really excited moving forward. They're both still very, very promising. I like what they're saying in their interviews. They're taking this responsibility. They have big goals and aspirations for themselves, and sometimes it's good to be met with some early resistance, some early failure, to be able to humble yourself to a degree and say, okay, this is what it's like on this level. I gotta up my work ethic. Or I gotta up my level of play if I want to do the things that I want to do. So that's just all for me and what I took away from the first couple games. Shout out to Herb, you know what I mean? Good looking for him. Blessings to him and his family and everything that he does. That dude's a constant professional. Good. I like seeing the support of the guys out there at Summer League, supporting the team, and probably just, hey man, you need to think about the conversation they have. Hey bro, you need to work on this. Or when you're doing this, you need to look for this. And I think they're going to be in a really good position in building that camaraderie um, of what it is that you need to see and things you're going to want to see from this particular team. I would like Z to be there. I don't really care. Fears look like he's going to be a star, style of play and everything. He look like he's going to shine in this league. Queen as well. Like, I'm not overly worried about the effort and stuff like that. Like, he's going to be able to. I think he's competitive enough, and when the seasons and the games come back, he's gonna look um, a lot better than what it is we're seeing now. And I also think he's gonna look better over these last two games. So I'm just waiting to let them finish out summer, see what we have then, and then we can reassess moving forward. But that's gonna be all for me, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share the page, comment, whatever it is. I typically respond to everything. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Have a good day.